Hello, podcast listeners. We know podcasts are a great way to catch up on a program that you may have missed on KSJE, and it's provided as a free service of this radio station. But you know, KSJE is now listener-supported, and so while you enjoy this podcast, we hope that you'll also take some time to join KSJE. Become a member today. It's quite easy to do. Just go to our website at ksje.com/support and pick the level of support that best matches your budget. Thanks again for listening. Here's your podcast. Fifteen minutes past 8 o'clock. It is Wednesday morning, the 26th day of March, 2025. Good morning, everybody. I'm Scott Michlin. Thanks for tuning in to KSJE. Normally, we broadcast at 90.9 FM here in San Juan County, New Mexico, and 103.3 FM in Durango, Colorado. But we are off the air this morning, but that doesn't mean we're silenced because we're still streaming at ksje.com. We also want to welcome our viewers who are able to watch the program this morning. The video is still streaming out to the KSJE Facebook page and also to our YouTube channel. So welcome aboard, everybody. I'm glad that you are with us this morning because coming up, the show must go on, and so we'll be talking with Superintendent Cody Diehl from Farmington Schools about some updates, some things going on in the Farmington School District and some other things that are happening there, so stay tuned for that. And later on this morning, we'll be checking in with folks from Aztec Speedway. They have some events coming up this weekend that we want to share with you, as well as some other things going on out at the track, so stay tuned for that coming your way today about 8:50 a.m. on KSJE. That sets us up, of course, for Roving with the Arts with Mick Hess. He will be here with our classical music program, a 90-minute version on Wednesdays, of course, to take us to 10:30, and right on Four Corners, our local and regional author program with host Delcherie Gladden. So stay tuned for all that coming up today on KSJE. Back with my guests from Farmington Schools right after this. He is supported by San Juan Regional Medical Center. The most important ingredients to sustaining health and wellness are the resources and tools that help you live a vibrant and healthy life. At San Juan Regional Medical Center, the goal is to promote health by making sure those resources are available. Find the path to the best life at lifebetterhere.com. San Juan Regional Medical Center. Better is our mission, improving lives through personalized health and care. I'm back in Studio A this morning with my guests, as I mentioned, from Farmington Schools. Superintendent Cody Diehl is with me this morning. Good morning. Thank you for coming in this morning.
Yeah, good morning. Thanks for having us.
You bet. Great to have you here. You're getting hazard pay today because some of our technology isn't quite working the way it normally does. So thanks for sticking with us. So
I think the whoever's watching is getting hazard pay if they have to look at me the whole time.
They would look at both of us. So yeah, you're right.
So.
But we'll try to keep it as well as we can. Anyway, so let's talk about some of the things that are going on. The legislative session certainly is just kind of wrapping up, and so there's some things there that we'll be talking about today as well. But let's get started and see what else we can talk about this morning. And let me get to my notes about our conversation here to see.
Yeah, and certainly before we start, as we enter the spring season of closing out a school year, I just want to thank our teachers and our staff, our administrators for their resilience. In this last push, they have risen to every challenge that we've asked them to, and it's the big testing season coming up, so we want to support our students, and certainly they are up for the challenge, and I just want to thank our school community for the efforts that they've put forward thus far, and here we are on the downhill stretch.
Right.
Spring
after spring break. That's true, right? Exactly. So thank you for sharing that as well. And so one of the schools you want to point out is McCormick Elementary School, right? They had some kudos and some other recognition, right?
Yeah, so right before spring break, the week before spring break, during the Public Education Department Language and Culture Division hosted an event at the Roundhouse, and McCormick Elementary was recognized for its outstanding bilingual program. And so we were happy. The weather didn't cooperate with everyone, and we didn't get to send some staff and students that wanted to be in attendance, but we thank Carmelita Lee for accepting the award on McCormick's behalf, and then we celebrated at the school board meeting the following Tuesday, so
Right.
it was good. And so that's 2 years in a row. Last year, Apache. It's actually 3 years in a row. I think 2 years ago, Esperanza won award, Esperanza Elementary, and last year Apache Elementary. So
Nice.
we have language programs in 11 of our schools, from kindergarten to high school, Spanish and Navajo. So very proud of those programs and the teachers who do the hard work.
Right, right. Nice to offer that to your students. And for McCormick, I guess, what the program's been going on for, gosh, a long time.
Yeah, it
Really long
has.
time.
Yeah, and then even more focused within the last 6 or 7 years.
Right.
So yeah.
Since
Good
about
stuff.
1975? Is that what I'm seeing?
Oh yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so
I mean, my math isn't that good, but that's a long time.
yeah, it's had the dual language program for a long time.
Yeah.
But how we've increased it over the last 6 or 7 years, a big focus. So
Sure.
yeah, absolutely.
Very, very good. Well, congrats to them, to the teachers, as you mentioned, and again, to be able to offer that to your students as
Yeah.
well, which is a great thing to be able to offer. Spelling bees, the Spanish spelling bee, right?
Yeah.
Some excellence there.
Yeah, so it's on the same subject of celebrating our cultures and language. Yeah, so more than 25 years we've been competing as a district. We have a back-to-back champion, right? So our champion is Nathaniel Condor, from an 8th grader from Tibbetts, who defended her title from last year. Second place, Camelia Pignon, an 8th grader from Heights Middle School. So both of those students share a teacher who floats between those two schools, Miss Tucker. So we thank her for continuing to push that program, and they did a good job.
Right, right. Very good. Congrats
Yeah.
to them. And some people I know can't even spell words in English properly, much less Spanish. So
Yeah, it's fun to watch.
kudos
They
to
do good.
them. Yeah, very true, very true. One of your students from Piedra Vista also getting some recognition, right?
Yeah, so Colton George, who is earning the Navajo Nation Seal of Bilingual Proficiency. So very prestigious award, and he'll be recognized in Flagstaff here in the coming weeks. And so yeah, very proud of him and his accomplishments. You know, last year we had a student from Farmington High who was presented the same award, and along with our Navajo students, we had 22 students last year in Spanish who achieved the bilingualism and biliteracy award as well. So good stuff happening in that department.
Nice. Congratulations. Very good. And congrats to him. And it looks like in my notes that he's maybe going to come here to San Juan
Yes,
College.
yeah, plan to be a welder.
Okay.
So, where the good money is, right?
That's true. So
And obviously we thank San Juan College, I say it all the time, for their partnership, and we have a great welding program, CTE program that Milo McMinn and those folks over at the Kate Center continue to grow, and I know you've had them on before, but
Sure.
yeah, it's a good partnership.
very, very good. Well, congrats again to him and to the other students who
Yes.
are recognized as well. One of your staff members also recognized, one of your music folks.
Yeah, so Mr. Cody Jackson, our Heights band director, one of Yamaha's 40 under 40. So it's another music award, and we thank Daniel Fear for getting our music educators out there and being recognized. They do such an amazing job, and we've talked about it many times on this program. And I think we're 8-9 years in a row now of Farmington being best community for music education. So he does a great job, Mr. Jackson, and you can just see, I mean, they're bursting at the seams. They need more space. They need more instruments. They need more room, but they do a good job. So
Nice.
one of 2 music directors from New Mexico selected, so very prestigious. Very proud of him.
Yeah, very nice. One of the top 40 under 40. So
Yep.
very, very good. Congrats to him. And then speaking of music, you've got some of your choirs are competing, right?
Yes, we have 7 choirs that have qualified for the state choir competition. So Heights Middle School, the Troubadours, Tibbetts Middle School, Titans Troubadours, Hermosa Middle School, Treble Choir, Farmington High School, Siren Serenade, Farmington High School Mixed Chorus, and then the two from Piedra Vista last year, who both won first place or state champions in their divisions last year, the PVC Pipes and the Piedra Vista High School Chamber choir. So April 4th and 5th at Sue Cleveland Concert Hall in Rio Rancho, and we're hoping that we can bring back some more hardware.
Okay. Let's hope so, right?
Yeah.
Congrats. Very
Yeah.
good. Well, good luck to them as they go on to compete. Some other students competing in a little bit different way, but
Yes.
it involves food, so I'm very interested.
So
baking.
FCCLA students from Farmington High and Piedra Vista recently in a state competition showcasing their skills in baking, fashion design, leadership. So yeah, it was a great event and a great showing, and we have Brenda Brother of all got gold in baking and pastry, first
Nice.
place, and she's going to go to nationals. She's a national qualifier, so that was good. And then we had some other students do well in thematic promotion, one in fashion sketch, and another in baking and pastry. So really proud of those students and their sponsors. So I'm looking forward, and I think at the board meeting last week, we had our board approved for the travel to these national competitions, so we're really proud of them.
There we go. And through a miracle of technology,
Well,
we
look
were
at
able
there.
to see
People
some
don't
of
have to look at me
the
anymore.
photos, or me either, but that's true. But we can show some of your students who are being honored.
Yeah.
So, congrats to them. We'll see how long this lasts. Don't hold your breath, Mr. Deal, because we may be back on
Yeah.
camera, you and me, with more
that's-
FaceTime.
That's
So,
good. I love showcasing them, and they did a really good job.
right, very true. Other students that are going on to some other national competition, your Business Professionals of America chapter.
Yep, BPA. I want to recognize some students from Farmington High School for their outstanding achievements at the regional and state conference. So you see on the screen the Logan Hastings and Eastern Gibbs and CJ Kane. So all of them have qualified for nationals. So very proud of them and the programs. And a lot of this goes along the line, and we've talked about this before with our career pathways and getting students involved in things that they're interested in. And so the two high schools have done all of our high schools have done a really nice job. We had I don't know if we're going to talk about it today, but we had some students from San Juan College High School in their
Nice.
science fair. So whether it's academic or career pathways, we have a lot of good things happening. And I'm really proud of Milo McMinn and Nicole Lamson. They're really starting to push pathways and CTE programs down into our middle schools as well. So the earlier we start, the better opportunities our students have. So
Very true. Well, and I guess it gets those students thinking too about their careers, right? And
Yeah.
and what they're passionate for or what they want to learn about, and gets them maybe more focused as they continue with their into high school and things like that.
Yep.
So
Yep.
very very good. Congrats to all of them, and your student senate at Farmington High School also getting some recognition.
Yeah, so Miss Hastings in the last picture there also runs our student council at Farmington High, and I think they earned their 10th Gold Student Council of the Year award. So just good leadership all around, and those schools do a good job of getting those kids out into our community, community service, internships. Keeping good grade point average. In our photo here, Miss Bella Yazzie, I think the thing that I want to highlight is she's on track to graduate with two associate degrees, along with her high school diploma. Pretty impressive.
How about that?
Goals and it's really good things happening for her.
Exactly. Congrats to her, and again, great to have that opportunity to be able to do that too, with some of those dual credit and other classes that she's able to take. So,
And I'd love to maybe next month when we talk, bring Milo McMinn in and talk about what we've done along these lines of dual credit, and I know that we're going to talk a little bit about it on the next slide, but we know that we're going to keep expanding these numbers, and it's a good thing.
yeah,
Yeah.
very good. I know you didn't want your face on the screen, Mr. Deal, but here it comes. I'm sorry. I'm giving you a warning. There you are. So some other things to mention today about fine arts numbers.
Yeah, so we've said this before, but as we've seen in the previous slides and what's happening, we have a big number of our students, the majority of our students in grades 6 through 12 participating in some type of fine arts, whether it's visual, performing, media, down your line of our 2 radio
Yeah,
stations
right.
or classes. So, but yeah, 68% of our secondary school population is involved in the fine arts. So continue to be proud of those programs and those students.
Very true. I was going to say your video production folks aren't any slouches either. I
Yeah,
mean, they're
no.
Producing some really good content. So
They do
there's
some
all
good
that.
stuff, and yeah, very proud of both of those.
Right. Very, very true. And then career choices, or with again some of this CTE or career and technical education.
Yeah, so the big numbers, right? Over 2,500 students enrolled in CTE classes. I think the thing that's important that we recognize is that if we have students complete 2 CTE courses, our graduation rate is 97%, and it just tells me that they're engaged, they're interested, and there's a sense of belonging, right? And they want to be there. So, like I said a couple slides ago, the CTE expansion into our middle schools is going to be a big thing for us, and we're going to start that discovery earlier in a student's academic career, and,
Right.
and with our graduation requirement, the bill that passed last year, that gives us a little more flexibility. So getting those kids started earlier, they'll be able to make choices sooner. And things like aviation class that we're getting ready to start, and our CNA program, good stuff. And with the United Airlines coming in, and we're working
Right.
with the airport to start that aviation class. And
Now,
so
what does that entail? Is this pilot training, or?
Yeah. So I think we should invite Mr. McMinn in next month, and he can talk about some of these
Okay.
the expansion of
Yeah,
these
yeah.
programs, and maybe even one of our high school or both of our high school principals to talk more about it. I know that.
Okay.
Partnerships with the hospital and the airport, and you don't have to be a pilot to be part of the aviation programs. There's so many other, whether it's mechanics,
Sure, right.
the people who to load planes, and all of the things. So hopefully it encompasses all of that, and we can support our airport, and we can support our hospital through our programs, and that's the goal.
Got it.
Yeah.
Very good. I can see the wheels turning already about who you're going to invite next month. So there you go. Excellent.
Maybe somebody besides me, right?
Well, no, you're always welcome. Always welcome. Legislation, too, as we talked about, the 60-day session has wrapped up, and a lot of bills are now heading to the governor's desk, I think, for her signage or not, right?
Yeah.
Whatever happens. So there's some things you're watching.
We are. I mean, I think the biggest, and I think most of the things that have gone across or will go across her desk, she will sign. House Bill 2, all of our employees, and I think well-deserved, increase 4% average salary increase for all of our school personnel. So that's a big one. And then teacher salaries have been teacher minimum salaries for our tiers. Tier 1 will go from $50,000 to $55,000. Tier 2 from $60,000 to $65,000, and Tier 3 from $70,000 to $75,000. These are big for our teachers. Although Farmington schools are already at those numbers, we've surpassed the minimums a couple years ago. So I think we're in good shape as far as that goes. But we'll continue to hopefully take care of our teachers and our staff the best we can. So that's a big one. And there's a lot of other non-recurring appropriations that fall into House Bill 2 that we don't necessarily need to get into. But talking about CTE programs and expansion, in House Bill 63, the public school funding formula, there's an increase to the factor of how much money off of the unit value that we get for our secondary students. Obviously, it costs more to run a CNA program, to run an aviation class, or for that matter, any of these CTE programs.
Right.
It costs more money, and so in order for us to grow those, we need more money. So we're very happy about House Bill 63, very thankful. There's some other fine print on that bill that we don't need to necessarily get into, but things like defining family index funding and at-risk funding that is pretty complicated. But the big takeaway for me is the factor for our secondary students.
Okay,
So
very
that's
good.
helpful, yeah.
The that anti-distraction policy, that was
Yeah.
regarding cell phones. And we
Cell
talked about
phones.
that before when they were talking about it, right?
Yeah.
What ended up with that bill?
So I think so it'll pass, right? And a lot of that is aimed towards providing dollars for school districts to have cell phone lockers or ways to manage the cell phone usage. But the big thing here for Senate Bill 11 is that we are required to have a personal device policy in place. So our school board was ahead of the game. So I want to thank them for recognizing that that there is some value to personal electronic devices, but there's also some things that happen with those devices that are keeping our students from learning. Whether it's screen time or the access that they have to things that are distracting them from learning. So we are going to find a balance that works for our system. I know that there is a big concern when students don't have their phones around in case of emergency.
Right.
So we'll take all that into consideration as we develop this policy. But I think in looking around the country and what's happening, the landscape is headed in this direction for probably good reasons. And I think one of our schools, Mesa View Middle School, has done a really nice job of limiting the use of cell phones. As a matter of fact, they keep them in their lockers. This is a middle school on Farmington Municipal Schools area in our system, and they've seen a decrease in discipline referrals. They've seen an increase in student engagement.
Okay.
When I'm able to focus in class, when I'm not sitting there worried about somebody snapping a picture of me and posting it on Snapchat or whatever these kids do, right? With their social media, those things happen. I think that people probably don't get that, but they do, and so I think there's a lot of positive to it.
This would fix that.
I think so.
And the legislation leaves it to the districts, I guess, to develop their own policies. It's not an overall policy of the whole state, right?
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah. So,
Okay.
which is, obviously Farmington is different than Aztec and is different than Bloomfield, and what we will tolerate as a community is changes throughout the state. So, but yes, focusing more on education and one thing that does just take away from our students, and sometimes we're our own worst enemy, is because we provide a laptop for every student, and so it includes those as well, right?
Right.
Screen time, so it doesn't just come from a cell phone, and we have to manage our own systems as well. Like I said, we put a laptop in the hands of all of our students, and doesn't mean it has to be open all the time.
Right.
There is room for paper and pencil.
Okay. Very good. So you're working
And
on
books.
that. Yeah, and books. That's
Yeah,
true.
right.
Very true. A couple other items here on this page before we move on would be asking families to change or make sure their information in that Power School system is up to date.
Yeah, so more to come from this, but in order for us to continually communicate effectively with our families, Power School is we have some self-created pages that don't work for us anymore, and we're going to need to have families help us in updating their contact information via our registration portal. So more information to come, but we're looking forward to that, and we'll communicate it out, and how to do it should be simple.
Okay.
But
So things like cell phone numbers and email addresses, that's what you're
correct,
asking about,
yeah.
right?
And we've talked about this before as well. We talked about our AI program when students are absent, and if we don't have the right number, if we're not texting the right people, then it does us no good, right?
Right.
So
That's kind of the thing you're talking about.
Yeah.
So got it.
Yep.
And the final bullet on this page would be armed campus safety monitors at the middle school level now.
So very, very proud of this. Our safety team at Farmington Municipal Schools keeps growing, and this wasn't an issue 10, 15 years ago, and it's school safety is one of our top priorities, obviously, but we've had armed campus safety monitors at our 2 high schools, and now we are migrating down to our middle schools. And I think a goal would be to have one in all of our schools eventually. Dale Bodie and I spent a day in Rio Rancho Public Schools, and they're ahead of the game in a lot of these areas. And so we went down and we learned a little bit from them on what to do and what not to do as we expand. And so I'm excited. I'm excited that there are folks. But we still have great support from Farmington Police Department and our first responders in this town and county, Office of Emergency Management. We're not saying that we don't want that help. We're just beefing up our security a little bit.
And I guess this is more of a proactive response than a reactive one, I guess, right? It's not in response to any threat or anything that you're aware of that you would be doing this.
No, so, I mean, there's a struggle to hire people, and I think our local law enforcement has the same struggle.
Sure.
And so we've partnered together to try to fill a void or a gap of having because I think Farmington Police Department, 5-6 years ago, gave us an SRO in all of our secondary schools.
School resource officer.
Our school resource officer through the police department,
mm-hmm.
and through staffing issues that they've had and budget issues and staffing issues that we've had and budget issues, we've had to come together to solve this problem, and this was one way to do it. So very, very good partnership with them. We did it with our crossing guards.
Right.
So just growing as time goes, and I think it's going to be good for our schools.
Very good. Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks. Thank you. Moving on to talk a bit about, the talent show, Native American Talent Show.
Tonight.
Is coming up. Oh, it's tonight.
Tonight,
Look at that.
Yeah,
okay.
At Pedro Vista High School.
Nice.
It's always a good show. And so we have that. And then we haven't talked about the Dene Spelling Bee. We talked about the Spanish Spelling Bee, but the Dene is tomorrow.
Thank you, right.
And then here at San Juan College, I think I might have mentioned this last time I was here, but the Native American STEAM Festival, April 1st, second annual here, and we bus in elementary students, and it's a cool event. And then April 12th, our third annual Farmington Junior Chef Competition. It's always a fun event.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very good. At
Good
Farmington High
coming
School.
up.
So that's true. Excellent. Well, that is coming up. And then again, the plug for employment, I guess, right?
Yeah, this is, as always, go to our website, farmingtonschools.us,
right,
and look for openings that might suit you. But, it's not only Farmington Schools, but we run a great partnership with our Boys and Girls Club for our after-school programs. And so if you want to support part-time through our after-school programs, contact the Boys and Girls Club. We have so many organizations that support us, but yeah, looking forward to the hiring season. And we have people retire, and we thank them for their service, and obviously people leave and move, so there's always openings.
That's
so,
true.
Yeah,
okay,
come join us.
Very, very good. Excellent.
Good place to be.
Excellent. Well, very good. Well, Mr. Diehl, it's always great to have you here to share all the successes of your students and your staff, and to let us know what's going on at Farmington Schools. We appreciate that. Sounds like you got plans for next month already, so I'm glad to hear that.
Sure.
So you're committed. We'll see you again in about a month.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, and we're looking forward to the spring season, and before long we'll be walking across the stage.
That's very true. It's coming. Very true.
Coming quick.
All right. Good to see you. Thank you very much, Superintendent Cody Diehl from Farmington Municipal Schools, my guest this morning here on KSJE. KSJE and the San Juan College Native American Center present the Student Study Tip of the Week.
Hi, this is Marianne coming to you with your Study Tip of the Week. Switch up your study spots. Studying in the same spot can get tedious, so why not mix it up and get a new perspective on things? College campuses have tons of study spots for students, from the library to the campus lawn to local cafes. Think back to studying with friends and finding an area to set up for an hour or for the day. Take advantage of these study areas, both indoors and outdoors, and give yourself a new view every day.
The Student Study Tip of the Week is presented by the San Juan College Native American Center and KSJE. Did you enjoy that podcast? We hope that you did, and if you did, share it with your friends. And if you really want to keep podcasts like this coming, please support KSJE. You can do it easily online at ksje.com.